Hello and welcome back to Lorcana Villain. My name is Baker, and today I'm going to be opening up some product from Set 10, Whispers in the Well. Now, you will be seeing this on Monday, but time of recording, I haven't even left for Milwaukee yet, and the entire set hasn't even actually been revealed yet. A huge thank you to Ravensburger for sending me this product early, and I'm recording it ahead of the entire release schedule so that I leave on Wednesday for Milwaukee so I can get my content prepared and ready to go out on Monday and in a timely fashion. But yeah, this actually happened a couple of sets ago when I was opening product and we weren't all the way through the reveals, so I got to sort of record my authentic first reactions to seeing some of the cards. So even though by the time you're seeing this, I believe the whole set will have been revealed, you'll get to see my first time reactions to some of these cards. We're going to be opening up both starter decks, a Trove from Whispers in the Well, and having a quick look at what's inside. So again, a huge thank you to Ravensburger. It is a privilege to be sent these items, so I am extremely grateful. I'm not going to be reading out every single card. If it's the first time I'm seeing a card, then of course I will, and then some like particularly bonkers ones. This set looks like it's really going to change our metagame. I'm just going to say, guys, power creep. Power creep is very real. We are living in it, and there's some really exciting stuff. The gargoyles look like they're going to be day one meta. The new Cinderella is absolutely bonkers. There's a new Emerald song that places free damage counter on all opposing characters, and so finally the Prince Philip is potentially really playable. There's some really exciting stuff here, so we're going to get into it. A shout out to the channel sponsor Cardmarket. If you're looking for Lorcana singles at competitive rates, then check out Cardmarket. Now we're going to start off with the starter decks. We have one Amber Emerald with Meg and Simba on the front, and then we have one Sapphire Steel with Judy Hopps and Robin Hood. Detectives being a core theme of this set, and indeed the new boost mechanic, which I think is really interesting. So I think I'm going to start off with the Sapphire Steel, so let's get that open. Alright, so as usual, we have one boosty inside the starter deck. We have a collection of tokens that you can use for damage. If you're a newer player, I would always advise using dice, which you can get in the Trove. We'll be opening up one of those in a moment, but these will do just to get you going as soon as possible. There is a very basic mat, which again, I would not recommend paying too much attention to. I wouldn't recommend actually using this. I would get yourself a proper play mat or just play. I mean, you can use this if you want to, but it's not really what it's for. It's just to give you a kind of idea of the different zones, and then there's this illustration from 1 to 20. You can alternatively use the Disney Lorcana app or pen or paper or a variety of ways to keep lore, but if you want, then you can use this by all means. And we have the quick start rules, and I just had a quick flick through because I was thinking, I wonder if there's any, because there's normally a couple of pieces of art and cards shown in these quick start rules from the current set, and I was like, I wonder if there's any spoilers just from looking through it. And there absolutely are, including one particular character, which has just kind of blown my mind a little bit. I'm not going to show you what it is yet. We'll wait until the end. Maybe the character will come up when we're opening some packs, but oh, I am excited. And of course, we have the actual cards. Let's get those open. Alright, so here is our Sapphire Steel deck. We already have seen this card before, this Judy Hopps. When you play her and when she quests, you can look at the top three and reveal a detective. Again, detectives seeming to be quite relevant in this particular set as we try and solve the mystery of Whispers in the Well. Where have these ethereal glimmers or whispers come from? I'm sure that Judy Hopps is on the case. Foiling looks really beautiful here. And the new Robin Hood, who is one of these whispers and has the new boost mechanic where you pay an amount as dictated on the card. You then put a card from the top of your deck underneath this card, and that will unlock specific abilities. And this Robin Hood, while he's got a card under him, when he quests, you can deal 1 damage to up to 2 chosen characters, which is pretty interesting. So we're going to go on. We've got Judy Hopps here. I think I have seen this one before, a Shift 4. Again, if it's the first time I'm seeing it, then I'll read it a little bit more, but I don't want this video to be too long. We've got Christoph, who I don't think I've seen. He's a 3-cost inkable Inkable, 2/3 quest for 2, boost 1, and whenever he quests, if there's a card under him, put the top card of your deck into your Inkwell face down and exerted. That's pretty interesting for some turbo ramp, and questing for 2 is kind of the icing on the cake that might make him playable, so that's pretty cool. We've got Nick Wilde, who we've seen before. We've got Castle Wyvern. Okay, this is what I haven't seen. This is goggles, right? 2-cost Inkable, steal location, 1 to move there, 5 willpower, 1 passive lore, and protect this castle. Characters gain Challenger 1 and Resist 1 while here. So that ability is like okay, it's not particularly overwhelming, but it's a cheap location, it's in steel, so it can potentially go with the old school John Silver, who was reprinted, who gets Resist and Lore for every location in play. There seems to be a couple of other cards that we got in this set that have some location synergy. We got a Goofy in the last set who can move characters to a location. So this effect, it's definitely, the effect is relevant enough, right? Being able to Challenger 1 and Resist is perfectly reasonable, and the fact there's a lore pip on this, but the fact that it's inkable and only 2 cost, maybe it finds a place in some sort of location deck. We've got Judy Hopps. When you play this character, if you have a detective in play, you may put chosen item into its player's Inkwell face down and exerted. Again, some of these, some of the cards I've obviously looked at a lot that have been revealed over the past week or so, but some of them I might have glanced at. Maybe it was amongst a mix of very exciting cards, so some of them I'm not sure, but Judy Hopps on the case. We've got Scuttle. I have seen this one. 5-cost Inkable, 5/5 quest for 2 with Ward. What is going on? This card genuinely seems like it might be absolutely bonkers. 3 copies of this in the starter deck. You'll have to see it. This is another one of the Whispers Jasmine. I've talked about her before on the channel. I'm not particularly overwhelmed by her. Straight away, though, I am happy to see that, again, maybe this isn't the case as we get through the rest of the deck. One thing I've been asking for theme decks is just to make them a little bit stronger. And that doesn't even necessarily mean you have to put better cards in, but I would just like to see some of the key cards in these starter decks at higher counts, so you have a degree of consistency to what that deck is specifically trying to do. So yeah, already that's not a bad sign, like having 3 copies of the Scuttle, 3 of the Judy Hopps, 2 of the Jasmine. Like in the past, that might have been only 1 copy, or 2 copies of this Jasmine. I hope that continues, basically. I want a little bit more consistency to starter decks. We've got a Pluto here that I've seen before, a couple of copies. Black Heron, not seen this before. 2-cost Inkable, 3/3 quest for 1. That is a really good stat line for a 2-cost. Yo, Raja just got power crept. That's not actually power creep, right? Because different ink colors should be better or worse at doing different things. There are some more very obvious examples of power creep, which we won't get into now. But yeah, this is a pretty good stat line for Steel. Like in Amethyst Steel, does this just replace Raja? Probably, unless you're a Treasure Guardian brew, which I do not recommend. Play Dumbos or hopefully again. Amethyst Steel looks like it's getting some pretty cool new toys this set anyway, so maybe we don't have the room. But yeah, this is perfectly reasonable. Yeah, I really like it. Black Heron, super cool. You may have bested me before, McDuck, but not this time. We've got David Xanatos. I think this is one of the most broken cards in the set that I've seen so far. Just on play, discard a card to deal 2 damage to chosen character. Amethyst Steel is going to absolutely eat this. This is absolutely a 4 in that deck on day 1. I guarantee it. The Robot Queen, great to see this in the game. If you didn't know, this is from Basil the Great Mouse Detective, and this is Ratigan's diabolical scheme to put in a fake queen so that he can basically become a man of power in England and basically take over the world, which is what Ratigan wants to do. But I've been waiting for this particular... I didn't know if it would be a character or an item, but for this Robot Queen to be in the game, so it's great to see her. Zootopia, another location that I have already seen before. Zeus, one of the first Whispers that was revealed. I wasn't particularly overwhelmed. Only 1 copy seems a bit low to me personally. We've got Daisy Duck. I haven't seen this one. 2 costing. Oh god, we've got another shift target for the Although if you're doing this, then you're not ramping on 2. Because yeah, the new Daisy, the Floodborn one, who's going to be the set championship promo, she's seeming like she's pretty interesting. So I think a lot of we've already got one cost Daisy Duck in Amber, but if we get another, then that opens up the different ink combinations that we could that we could brew with. But she just has support. So yeah, if you're doing this, you're not ramping on 2. but still pretty interesting. And here is the alt art reprint of Mickey Mouse Detective. I've been saying this for a long time. So I didn't know if it was going to be a direct reprint with alt art or if it was going to be a different version of Mickey Mouse Detective. And I'm still hopeful that there's a Floodborn version of this Mickey Mouse Detective in this set or in this quarter, shall we say. We got Henwen from the Black Cauldron. Very excited for the Black Cauldron card itself. We got Anna. I've not seen her before. 4-cost Ingable. 4/3 quest for 2 with support. That's a pretty reasonable stat line. I think there are characters with the stat line but Ward instead, which you would probably prefer, but it depends what sort of deck you are, right? And if you're with Amethyst and you can support the 5-cost Elsa, and of course there's the Floodborn Elsa, who, if you've got an Anna in play, she draws a card when she quests, so I wouldn't shy away from this Anna. We got a new Genie, a detective version, just a vanilla 4/7 quest for 2. Henwen's Vision for them Prophecy decks. Promising Lead, another action. Yeah, I have seen that one. It gives +1 lore and support to a chosen character. Detective Badge, I've not seen this one. 1-cost Inkable and item. Exert and pay 1, chosen character gains resist 1, and the detective classification into the start of your next turn. Whoa, that's pretty interesting. It's a 1-cost item, so immediately it has good synergy with Tamatoa. It's immediately something that's potentially interesting in Infinity versions of Sapphire Steel. So this seems reasonable, and again, there's some detective synergy. So if we've got a non-detective in our Sapphire Steel deck, I suppose it doesn't have to be with Steel, but it probably is, who would really benefit from the detective classification, then this is absolutely a reasonable item you could put in. I like it. Clawhauser, I've not seen this either. 6-cost Ingable, 5/6, quest for 2, and challenger 2. Yo, he's a big boy. It was only a crumb, but Clawhauser knew it was a small piece of a larger mystery. Yo, what is it? What is it? What is a crumb? What sort of crumb? Clawhauser, reveal your secrets. Francine, I haven't seen this one either. 3-cost Ingable, 4/3, quest for 1, and resist 1. Is this a reasonable Amethyst Steel 3-drop? Probably not, because they probably still get 4 characters to strength you. Interesting stat line though. Okay, I'm game. New Nick Wild, 1-cost Ingable, 2/2. We've got a perfect shift target for that. I think he was a Floodborn. Yeah, the Steel Nick Wild, who was also in this deck, so you'd love to see that. Donald Duck Ghost Hunter, let's go. 4-cost Inkable, 5/4. When you play this character, chosen detective character, gets Challenger 2 this turn. I do think I've seen this one already, but just, it's the Halloween spirit. If you've been watching the channel a while, then you know I'm a big Halloween fan. Love my scare acting, love my horror. So, yeah, anything with the sort of ghost aesthetic, I'm going to be a fan of. And I'm in love with this Basil. Shout out to LD, and Artibax, who had a great reveal for this card. His shield is a watch, and his sword is the hand of that watch. This is absolutely amazing. I love him so much. The Tenacious Mouse. Another card that I like, again, just aesthetically really speaks to me. Minnie Mouse, the Ghost Hunter. Super, super cool. Putting it all together. Chosen character, opposing character, can't challenge during the next turn, and you may draw a card. And here he is. This is the card that I saw. Not this card, but an artwork of this character when I was flicking through the rules book. We have the Headless Horseman, yo. 4-cost Inkable, 4/4, quest for 1, and bodyguard. Oh my days. I imagine there is at least another Headless Horseman in this set, but yo, this is super, super cool. 2 copies. Oh, that's amazing. Mate, this seems okay. So some exciting cards because, again, it was the first time I was seeing them. But overall, I like the power level of this deck a little bit more. Again, there's a couple of themes. Not everything is necessarily detective, but a lot of it is like Henwen's Vision. Like that's just, I suppose that's splashable. This Genie is a detective, to be fair. Yeah, I mean the Henwens could definitely be different cards, but pretty much everything else is playing into the detective theme of the deck. There are higher copies of things. This is one of the best starter decks I've seen in a while, to be honest, in terms of like how I would feel comfortable putting it in the hands of a brand new player and saying, yo, play this deck. Because again, with past starter decks, there'd be like one-offs of like the 3 cards that kind of made up what that deck was. And if you had to ink them or just didn't see them, then you didn't really get to experience like doing the thing, which I think is a great thing for newer players. Or even if you're an older player, you know, it's nicer to pick up a theme deck where, you know, you maybe have a little agency over the game. But like overall, I'm really impressed with this. I think this is a really strong sign of things to come. I'd like another Nick Wild, but he is uninkable, to be fair, so you're never inking it. So it's not the worst thing. I like the high count of Scuttle in particular. High count of Black Heron. I could, like, again, in the past, I would have imagined Xanatos to be like just a one-of in this deck. I'd like another Zeus. Overall, really, really happy with the Sapphire Steel deck. So yeah, that's very much impressed me. And yo, Headless Horseman hype. We'll save that boosty for when we're doing the booster packs. Let's move on to the Amber Emerald deck. All right, something I will say is these boxes in the past, for me, have always been super clunky and awkward to open. Like, I've always felt like my cat trying to wrestle its way out of a paper bag. It just never ends well. But these two opened very smoothly. Maybe this is luck. Maybe it's a one-off. Maybe I'm getting better at opening them. Maybe it's something to do with the packaging that's changed that just makes it a little tidier to open. I'd be very interested when this set is released, if anyone else feels the same way. But let's get into the second deck, starting off with this new Simba, who, when we first saw this, everyone said, this is a trap. This is nigh unplayable, and like, unless, again, I've made a point of saying, yo, Infinity decks of Mufasa, this seems like a perfectly reasonable piece of it, but in Constructed, absolutely not. And that probably is still the case, but we have had a couple of cards revealed that allow you to, I think it's a Scrooge, who when you play a Whisper, you can immediately put the top card of your deck underneath it, so which would trigger this ability straight away, which makes this marginally more playable. It's probably still going to be too slow in Core Constructed, but that's a good premise, so maybe there is something there. But I think he's super cool. The artwork is absolutely stunning. Meg or Megara, but he only calls her Meg in Hercules, so I will continue to do the same. Again, one of the first Whispers that we had revealed. Very, very cool. We've got this new Baloo, who is a Floodborn. On play, whether you shift it or not, you can choose to either have both players draw a card or discard a card. I think we need a one-cost Baloo for this to be even considered, and even then, I'm not sure it's good enough personally. Potentially, maybe in Emerald Sapphire, but it really does come down to like what the Baloo looks like that we're shifting on to. Not seen this one before. Penumbra, Moon Alien, 5 costing uninkable, 7/6 quest for 2. Yo, can this reasonably go in Emerald Sapphire if they're like playing Mickey into 5-drop? Is this reasonable at all? It's an uninkable, so probably not in like under the sea builds of Clarabelle that want to empty their hand, but the stat line might be relevant enough. This is that Scrooge that I was talking about. When you play a character or location with boost, then put your top card of your deck underneath them. I would have loved a second copy of that Scrooge, to be honest. But here's a location that I've not seen before. We got Duckburg, Funzo's Fun Zone. It's an amber location, 2-cost inkable, 2/6. And where fun is in the zone, whenever a character quests while here, you pay 2 ink less for the next character you play this turn. That's pretty interesting. In Infinity, we played, again, and this was never like a top tier deck, but it was a rogue deck that could do well occasionally. We had the Doc and the Gaston, who are characters who on quest or exert were able to lower the cost of the next character you play. Obviously, we've had things like Lantern. So now we've got it on a location, which is pretty interesting. If this was one to move there, then I would be, I mean, that's such an obvious take, right? I'd be higher on the card, like, no, go figure, being cheaper to move somewhere makes something more playable. But just to point out, like, that I do think this effect is potentially good enough and allowing you to cheat something in, that it would have potential. But I do think that the fact that it's 2 to move there is probably going to keep it still in the water. Again, there are some cards that can help us move to locations for free. It is 2 cost and it's inkable. 6 willpower is, you know, not bad. Yeah. Tentatively interested in the card, but not with the highest of hopes. Yo. Flynn Rider, Spectral Scoundrel. What is going on? 1 cost inkable, 1/2, quest for 1, boost 2, and while there's a card under this character, he gets +2 strength and +1 lore. Mate, this is kind of It's a little bit bonkers. Because if you think of it as like, you invest 1 ink to put this on the board. Then if it does survive, then you can choose to invest the 2 ink to boost it to make it suddenly quest for 2. Like, which is obviously quicker than just establishing another 2-drop that would quest for 2. I don't know, I think this is kind of interesting. And going up to 3 strength, it's probably trading with whatever takes it out. Is there room for this? I don't know, but instinctively, I think he's kind of cool. There are 3 copies in as well. Emily Quackfaster. Let's go. 2 cost inkable, 2/2, quest for 1. Recommended reading. When you play this character, you may put the top card of your deck face down under one of your characters or locations with boost. So again, another way that we can trigger that without actually having to pay the boost cost. So like when we look at boost 2 or boost 3, then these sort of cards are really going to help potentially make them more playable. Obviously, this is slower than the Scrooge McDuck, who you've already got that ability online. You just play your big symbol or whatever, and then it triggers. Whereas in this case, you would have to have enough ink for the big Simba, as an example, could be any of the boosters, and then have enough ink to play this. And again, it would have to be triggered when the card is tucked underneath, like Simba, which I think he's actually the only one which works that way. Maybe there'll be more. Nonetheless, this is definitely like an interesting card to support that new archetype. We've got a new Bellwether, who I have seen before, but she is quite interesting, questing for 2, and when she's challenged and banished, you put 1 damage counter on each opposing character. We've got Hook Hand, nice, cool, vanilla. Blessed Bagpipes, 2 cost inkable item. When you play this item, you may put the top card of your deck face down under one of your characters or locations with boost, so what we just looked at in item form. And whenever one of your characters or locations with a card under them is challenged, gain 1 lore. Okay. There's certainly a lot of support for this archetype, just to like run Whispers as a whole. I think this Gaston is one of the better Whispers, honestly. Like even being uninkable, I do think this ability is super, super good. We got Webby Vanderquack, while you have a character or a location in play with a card under them. She gets +1 lore. She's a 1/6, mate. What on earth is going on? Scrooge McDuck, when you play this character, chosen character with a card and then gets +1 lore, and he's a 3 cost 4/3. Yo, this is not bad. This Bagheera I saw just the other day, mate. This is bonkers. This is bonkers for a vanilla, but I absolutely love it. Recovered Page. This is a great card to go with not only the Whispers, but Sapphire, Amber items with Tamatoa. This is pretty interesting, especially in Infinity. When you play the item, it's basically a Be Our Guest. You can look at the top 4, put a character into your hand, the rest go to the bottom. And you can also pay 1 ink and banish this item to put the top card of your deck face down under one of your characters or locations. But this with Tamatoa, kind of bonkers. I think this is absolutely an Infinity card that makes Sapphire, Amber, like, really interesting. Here's a Baloo, the cheapest we've seen so far, a 2 cost inkable 2/4. Yeah, if this is the best we can shift onto with that Floodborn Baloo, then I'm sorry that this probably isn't it, because you're probably combining it with Sapphire, so you're wanting to ramp on 2 anyway. Maybe you do combine it with something else, and we can make it worthwhile. Yeah, I think even if we have a 1-drop, and hey, maybe we still do, and I just haven't got to it yet. But the 1-drop, even then, I don't think it's a certainty we play the Floodborn, so I think a 2-drop alone isn't really it. 2/4 is a pretty good stat line, though. We've got Big Nose, who's a 1-drop 1/3. Nice, simple shift character. Aquila, who has already been revealed, but is certainly interesting. We got Flotsam, slippery as an eel. 3 cost inkable 4/2, quest for 1 with evasive. Mate. That is potentially interesting, although we do have the new alert keyword, which I'm sure we'll get to at some point. When you play this character, deal 3 damage to chosen opponent. This is Vincenzo at home, basically, but still pretty interesting. Chomp, yo, Chomp, deal 2 damage to chosen damaged character. Inkable fire the cannons as long as there's already a ping on them. It's obviously not a turn 1 play, because you're never, unless they play Moulard on turn 1 or something that self-damages. So be it. I have seen this one. Each of your characters gets +1 strength this turn, and you may banish a chosen item. We've got this new Goofy, who I think is actually really interesting, and there's a Floodborn of him that I think is really good. Mrs. Beakley, who's a 2/6 bodyguard. She a big girl. Kim's going to be so happy. We got a 1-drop, Alenwi? I literally rewatched Black Cauldron the other day and I can't remember the pronunciation of this. I will double check. But she's a 1 cost 2, 1 quest for 1 with support, which is super reasonable as a shift target. I actually think 2-1 with an ability like support is better than a 2-2 in a lot of instances. So this is a really nice shift target. Hopefully there's a Floodborn still to see. This Della Duck is very interesting when you play this character, ready a character with boost. And again, we've seen that there's a lot of reason to just play a full-on Whispers deck, so maybe she finds a place. Maybe Sven might still be better, but we'll see. We got Higgins here, 1 cost 2-2, nice simple shift target. And Della's Moon Lullaby, choosing opposing character gets -2 strength until the start of your next turn, draw a card. I think this is really good. I think this is strong case for this being a part of Amber Emerald. And we've got Munchings and Crunchings. So similar to the first deck we looked at, generally higher counts of higher counts rather than higher amount of unique cards, which I do think is the better strategy. Pretty much everything is where I would like it to be, other than is that the only Scrooge shift target for the Floodborn? I would like one more of the Floodborns, to be honest. And if that Scrooge, the 3-drop, is the only shift target for him, then I think that's a little bit of a shame. Yeah, I'd like one more of these Floodborns. Again, it is a rare, so like, I kind of get it. But like, it seems like a big part of the deck. Yeah, I'd like one more of those and another one, or at least one more of the shift target. I think that at the very least is reasonable. Overall, though, very promising. I'm really enjoying the direction of the starter decks and how they're packing them out and playing a lot more into the theme. So again, both starter decks had like 1 or 2 cards that I would like a slightly higher count of, but by and large, I think this is a humongous improvement. All right, let's move over to the Trove and open up some packs. Alright, so as usual, love the packaging, love the artwork. Whispers in the Well is such a fascinating set, and the Troves, I think they always knock out of the park. So yeah, again, just a big win. The Trove itself, absolutely stunning, no complaints whatsoever. And we have the usual suspects. These are the divider cards. I'm not going to open them up now, but I very much enjoy the divider cards. I certainly put them to use myself. We have a new lore tracker. Last set we got the foil one for Eye to Eye, which I was very impressed with. Seems like that's going to be a rare treat. They're not all going to be foil, but this artwork is still absolutely beautiful, and I know a lot of people very much enjoy the lore trackers. And we've got some new dice, which I do believe are glow in the dark, which is another absolute win for this set. Very on theme. So let's move, of course, to the boosties. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and of course I've got the 2 from the starter deck. So we're going to get straight to business. Again, I'm not going to read a card unless it is literally my first time seeing it. But I'm super excited, man. Not like, again, to hopefully see some more new cards, but just to start my collection of Whispers in the Well. And we open up with Lena Saberwing. I do believe I've seen her before. Let's try and keep some order. Inspector Tezuka. A lot of Ducktail characters here. We've got Brom Bones. Burly Bully. 4-cost Ingable, 5/4 quest for 1. Whenever this character challenges a character with 2 strength or less, each opponent loses 1 lore. Interesting. Probably not good enough. We've got Launchpad. I have seen this one before. We've got Mrs. Bleakley. Again, I want a degree of order. Okay, I like to go red, blue, green, yellow, purple, steel. Purple, yellow, steel. That's what I like to do. Rapunzel. When you play this character, chosen opposing character gets -3 strength this turn. That's not bad on an inkable 3/6 quest for 2. This is going to be one of the most played cards in the game. 3-cost inkable 4/4 quest for 1. Alert, meaning they may challenge as if they had evasive. And then Stone by Day, which is the nerf to gargoyles. If you have 3 or more cards in your hand, this character can't ready. But being able to hit evasives, 3-cost 4/4, this is an absolute certainty to go in Amethyst steel deck. So very excited for him. Katrina Van Tassel, rosy cheeked lass, 4-cost inkable, 6/4. She's a big girl. We got that new Jasmine Grimorum Arcanorum. This is gargoyles, I'm sure. During your turn, whenever an opposing character becomes exerted, gain 1 lore. Whoa. And your character's name, Demona, gain Rush. Oh, that's pretty interesting. I'm not gonna lie. And yo, this art was in the rulebook, and that was how I saw the Horseman for the first time. I love this art. It's so cool. Spooky Sight, 6-cost uninkable. Put all characters with cost 3 or less into their players' inkwells, face down and exerted. Okay, I don't want to get... Yo, we got a legendary first pack of the day, baby! We got a legendary, who's it going to be? I've not seen this. 6 cost inkable. Uninkable. 5/4 quest for 2. Evasive and on the hunt. Whenever this character quests, chosen... Wait. Start again. Whenever this character quests, banish chosen opposing damaged character. Then you may put 1 damage counter on another chosen character. Okay. I need sleeves. Okay, we have sleeves. Whoa. Is uninkable. It's slow. It's so cool though. Oh my days. Oh, yo, I haven't looked. Yo, there's story! Yo, there's story to be read. I won't get distracted by that now, but there is story. Spooky sight, mate. People are going to lose their mind. Alright, let's go to a second one. Yo, that is so exciting. We got Big Nose, Raksha. 3 cost uninkable, 5/3, quest for 1, and on patrol. Once during your turn, you may pay 1 ink less to move this character to a location. So that's pretty interesting. She is uninkable. We've got the Horn King. Very glad to see him in the game. Anna, Donald Duck, Raja. Don't think I've seen this one before. 3 cost inkable, 3/4, Bodyguard. Pretty cool. We've got Ink Runner, which is going to be an absolute staple. We've got Webby's Diary, Mushu's Rocket. 1 cost inkable. When you play this item, chosen character gains Rush this turn. And 2 ink, banish this item. Chosen character gains Rush this turn. Does this go with Shark? Maybe. And it's a 1 cost item, so Ruby Sapphire items. And we've got Hans, Brazen Manipulator. 6 cost inkable, 6/4 quest for 2. King and Queen characters can't quest. And at the start of your turn, if an opponent has 2 or more ready characters in play, gain 2 lore. That's very interesting for an inkable card. 6 cost is maybe a bit too expensive, but... stops kings and queens from questing. That might be good enough. We've got another copy of the Simba and Sleepy Hollow. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, mate. 3 cost inkable location for Ruby. 1 to move there. 6 willpower. Head for the bridge. Whenever a character quests while here, you may banish this location to gain 2 lore and give them evasive until the start of your next turn. Okay. Okay, that's kind of interesting, yo. Mate, I love this set so much. This is so cool. Again, a huge shout out to Ravensburger for sending this product. Again, very grateful for it. It is a humongous privilege. Fragile as a Flower, which is kind of interesting. That came out recently. Another copy of that. Headless Horseman, let's go. Brooklyn is pretty interesting. The 2 willpower, he probably just gets banished to Xanatos, but an interesting card. We got So Be It. We got Flash. Yo, 3 cost inkable, 3/4 quest for 2. Hold your horses. This character enters play exerted, of course. And Deep Research. Whenever this character quests, you may give chosen detective character +2 strength this turn. Pretty cool. We've got Li Shang, 3 cost inkable, 2/4 quest for 2. We've got Duckworth, who is actually a pretty interesting Rush character. Inscrutable Map. Or rewrite history, return a character card from your discard to your hand, and it is a song. We've got the Sultan with a curator reference, which is very exciting for Lorcana lore geeks. We've got this goofy Emerald Champion, who was the first card ever shown from Whispers in the Well, so that's pretty cool. And we've got a foil of Della's Moon Lullaby, which is a pretty good foil to have. Let's be entirely honest with ourselves. That card is I'm pretty sure it's gonna see some play. Let's push straight on. Yo. Mushu, look at this art! 4 cost inkable, 4/4 quest for 2. Yo, that is absolutely amazing. We've got Rama, Vigilant Father. 6 cost inkable, 6/6 quest for 2. Whenever you play another character with 5 strength or more, you may ready this character. If you do, we can't quest for the rest of the turn. There's a few cards that go specific, synergize with characters of 5 strength or more in this set, and we've had some in the past, like the old, the Ruby Tinkerbell that we got a set or 2 back. Car, 3 cost inkable, 3/2 quest for 2 with Ward. That is immediately quite interesting. Shanti, who's a 3-cost 0/5 quest for 2 with Singer 5. We know that's a very relevant key word. We've got Henwen's Visions. We've got this Thiago with Challenger 5, who I think is fantastic. And a lot of people were very surprised by this, and maybe I was a little bit, but there is a Ruby Pete, and okay, admittedly, different ink, so different inks should be better and worse at doing different things. But there is a Ruby Pete who is a 5/2, who is a 3-cost. So being a 2-cost, being a 5/2, but it's Challenger, meaning you're not doing any damage back, I think is actually very, very reasonable. And I think the Thiago is interesting. We'll likely see some, at least testing. Emily Quackfaster, we've already spoken about her. This Baloo is pretty cool as a 3/8 quest for 2 with support and bodyguard. Another copy of that Judy Hops, and our foil is going to be the Basil, which I am not mad about at all. I will absolutely take a foil of that Basil. Y'all know that Basil is my favourite Disney film. Ratagun is the mascot of the channel. But of course, I've got a soft spot for the main mouse himself. We got Violet Saberwing, who's a 3/1 quest for 1 with evasive. So very similar to, we had Pegasus, and we still have Vanellope von Schweetz. And now there's that exact same text, but in Amethyst. Well, it's not the same text, different name, so different Floodborns. We've got Hudson, who, again, pretty interesting. I think the Gargoyles overall are going to be very good. Ghostly Tale, 4-cost inkable, exert all opposing characters with 2 strength or less. Yo, I am interested. Vladimir, we've seen him before. He's another big boy. Della Duck, Promising Lead, Bagheera, David Xanatos. Get your playsets of them. Flintheart Glomgold. Yo, look at this art. That is amazing. That is amazing. 4-cost inkable 1/4 quest for 3. And Try Me. While you have a character or location in play with an item, with a card under them, this character gains ward. That is super reasonable to go in your Whispers deck. 100%. I'm here for it. We got that Nick Wilde. Yo, all bow down to this Diablo. I made a bit of a joke on Twitter when this was revealed. I left a comment on someone showing this card being like, oh yeah, sure, Ask Me has to be uninkable. And again, it's fine. This will see play. I'm pretty sure this is going to... Not necessarily in all Ruby Amethyst decks, but, like, again, any sort of more aggro version. We've seen, like, Ruby Amethyst aggro in the past. Maybe this is exactly the tool it needed. I love this Diablo. Very glad to get this. And our foil is going to be the new Elsa, who is a spiritual successor to the Chapter 1 Maleficent Sorceress. But, of course, this Elsa with some... The name Elsa is very relevant. You can shift onto her. There are Annas that support her. She's a 1/3 as well, which I do think is a better stat line than Maleficent's 2/2. So great to see her. We've got Flotsam. We've got... Hey, here's our 1-drop Tinkerbell. I've been waiting for this because they revealed a Floodborn Tinkerbell the other day who's a 5-cost shift 3. And she does something to characters of 2 strength or less. I'm not sure if she exerts them or bounces them or something, but she's pretty cool. And now we have the 1-drop Tinkerbell, so that is pretty cool. Cauldron Born. 5-cost inkable 6/7. Yo, I love this set so much. Francine, we saw them earlier. We got Higgins. Malicious, Mean, and Scary. Get your foils of this. This is bonkers, mate. 3-cost inkable Song for Emerald. Inkable! Put 1 damage counter on each opposing character. So Damage Matters decks have a perfectly reasonable card to be able to get their damage online. It's each character, so it gets around ward. It's placing a damage counter, so it gets around resist. It's inkable. It's singable. You can combine it with the Floodborn Prince Philip to banish a bunch of things. There's the old Scar, who when you challenge a damaged character, you draw a card. There's a ton of like damage matters support, but it just never had the reliable way of doing that damage. Malicious, Mean, and Scary is that card. Sudden Scare. I love this art, man. Like, if you're a Disney geek like me, this is so cool. 4-cost inkable action. Put chosen opposing character into their player's inkwell face down. That player puts the top card of their deck into their inkwell face down. Okay, so inkable removal. I mean, it's let it go, but it's 4-cost. You can't sing it, and you also give them extra ramp. I'm not sure how I feel about it right away, but it is removal. Recovered page is super good. Aerial, yeah, this is there's an iconic of this aerial, but this is not the iconic. But we do that, another legendary. Prince Charming. He's very cool. 7 cost Ingable, 3/10 quest for 2, bodyguard, and each turn only 1 character can challenge. So that alone is pretty cool. I'm going to sleeve you up. And our foil of this Flint Glom Gold, who is very, very cool. Yeah, getting ward when you have a character with a card under them. And let's remember, right? Just Floodborns are having a character with a card under them. They don't have to necessarily be Whispers. So you don't need a full Whispers deck. You can just like have a heavy Floodborn type of deck. So that's very, very cool. 2 legendaries out of, what was this? 1, 2, 3, 4. Was that the 5th pack? The 4th or the 5th pack, I'm not sure. But we're still cooking. I've got another 3 here. 2 of them came from the starter decks. We've got Swooping Strike. Pretty interesting, potentially, with Merlin Shark. And there is a character with that ability built into it. But I'm much faster. Shout out to Harlan Sweet. They're quick, but I'm much faster. Bronx. 3 cost, 6/4 with Reckless. Bonkers, mate. Webby Vanderquack. Della's Moon Lullaby. Mickey Mouse. Yo, Merlin? Yo. 2 cost, uninkable, 0/3, quest for 2, boost 2, and when this character is banished in a challenge, if he had a card under him, draw 2 cards. You need to invest 4 ink, and in return, you draw 2 cards. This Merlin is likely never trading, with the 0 strength. The only reason I say likely is maybe you play a couple of Lumieres, so you can get his strength up a little bit. So yeah, you are hopefully, thing is it has to be in a challenge. If you invest this and then they banish it in another way, we're cooked. Oh, the art is so cool though. I don't think it's good enough because it has to be banished in a challenge. So I don't know if he's going to make the cut, but super cool. Penumbra. The Horseman strikes. Draw a card. You may banish chosen character with evasive. It's happening. Guys, it's happening. They're giving a straight evasive removal. And it's a cantrip. Yo. I'm so excited, man. I am so excited. Where's my amber cards? I've done something wrong. There we go. You over there. Oh, mate. The Horseman strikes. What is going on? And our foil is Might Solve a Mystery. Yo, I'm losing it, man. I am absolutely losing it. This is such an exciting set. I cannot wait to start playing with some of these cards. We've got the new Goofy, who I think is pretty cool. New Cricky, 2 cost Inkable 3/2 with Alert. Again, that new keyword meaning they can hit evasives, which I am a huge fan of. They're quick, but how much faster? We got Bronx, we got Werby, Vanderquack, we've got the Whisper Beast, very cool. We got Nana, 3 cost Inkable 3/3 quest for 1. When you play this character, you may choose and discard a card to return chosen character with 2 cost or less to their player's hand. Does Purple Steel want this? Does any purple deck want this if it struggles with aggro? Yo, playable Nana? Playable Nana? Question mark? Can't hold it back anymore. Yo, the new Lady Tremaine. I am super high on this card. If only she was either a Floodborn or Inkable. But yeah, when she quests, you can play when she quests, if you've got a card under her, she's boost 2, play an action of cost 5 or less from your discard for free, and then that action goes to the bottom of your deck. I fear it's too slow, but I very, very much like the card. And there is my second foil Basil. Yo, I'm going for the playset. Can we get the playset right? 2 more. So that was a Trove worth of packs. We now have 2 more from the theme decks, although, to be entirely honest with you, we may have opened the theme deck packs at some point during them. I just mixed them up, but whatever. Junior Woodchuck Guidebook. 2 cost Inkable item. Exert and pay 1 and banish this item to draw 2 cards. Drawing cards is indeed king. We've got Putting It All Together. We've got Mother Gothel. We've got Jetsam. We've got Goofy. We've got Cricky. I don't know how to say the name of this. I'm going to have to learn. But this is the character version of that action. Has the built-in Swooping Strike. And a 4/3 quest for 2 with Evasive. I do think this is quite an interesting card. He hurled his Thunderbolts! 4 cost Uninkable Song. Deal 4 damage to chosen character. Your deity characters gain Challenger 2 this turn. 4 damage. This is basically Zeus back. We're going to have a real close look at what characters have 4 willpower and which have 5. Deity Synergy, let's go. Yo. Oh my god, this is 100% seeing play. 100% seeing play. We've got Car, Enigmatic Inkcaster. Yo, a new Inkcaster. 2 cost uninkable. Exert, if you've played 2 or more cards this turn, gain 1 lore. Pretty interesting. Fairy Godmother's Wand and a foil of Detective Badge. Mate, he held his Thunderbolt is actually insane. Oh, people are going to lose their mind when they see this. They are going to lose their mind. Flotsam, the 1-drop Tinkerbell, Demona. I do think we've seen that one as well. I do believe. Pretty cool. Daisy Duck, the 2-drop, Clawhauser, Headless Manhorse, 6 cost inkable, 5/10. Manny was looking to get ahead, but he's never considered that something in the Inkwell Caverns was looking for him. Pretty cool. Pretty cool. We got Black Heron, Malicious, Mean, and Scary. Chef Louis, 7 cost inkable, 6/8 quest for 3. Big boy. Judy Hops, Fairy Godmother's Wand, and our foil is the Bitterwood. I think this is really beautiful. I would love to see more art of the Bitterwood. So that is all the packs from our Trove and from the start decks. We're coming up to the hour mark, so I am going to leave it there. I do still have a booster box to get through. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll do a live stream when I get back from Milwaukee and open that. Let me know if you'd like that down below. But yeah, man, I'm so excited. Headless Horseman in the game. Some really meta warping cards. We basically just got Zeus back. 1-drop Tinkerbell, Gargoyles, Malicious, Mean, and Scary. And again, I haven't even seen the full set at this point because I didn't get through the booster box. And even if I did, I wouldn't have seen everything if you include Enchanteds and stuff. By the time you're seeing this, I expect the whole set is out. But yo, I am so excited. Let me know your thoughts on the set, whether it's all out or from what we've seen. Let me know your thoughts on the set. What are you the most excited for? All I know is I can't wait to start brewing with set 10, Whispers in the Well. But that's going to be it from me for now. Thank you so much for watching. If you're brand new to the channel, please subscribe for all things Lorcana. Hit that like button to show your support, and we'll see you soon.